Welcome to Yvonne Chido Podcast, and today we're going to talk about a very exciting topic, and that's you don't have time, so you need to start moving. A lot of people think they still have time, they think they can do what they want to do and they can keep on procrastinating, but I'm here to tell you that you do not have time. So I realized this truth on the 12th of March 2024 because I was that kind of person who used to procrastinate a lot. I would tell myself that I will start writing that book next week, and when next week comes, I would fail to write the book. So I would continue to push to next week until I realized that it's actually taking away my focus and my time. Then there is also a time that I would tell myself, I'm going to sponsor that advert for my business, and I'll continue to procrastinate because I was just not serious. I thought I had time until the 12th of March 2024 when I had an accident and I saw myself as if I was about to die, So it served as a wake-up call to say, you know what? You don't have the time that you think you have. You need to start moving. You need to start pursuing your dreams. So I've told you this story because I know that you might be in the same shoes as me. You think that you have tomorrow, but let me tell you something, that tomorrow is not guaranteed. You need to start doing that thing that you said you want to do. You need to start to pursue that idea that you said you want to pursue. This will actually help you to start, achieving and realizing your dreams. I understand that some people may say, in as much as I want to pursue my dreams, but my environment is not conducive enough or it's not favorable enough. But let me tell you something. Your environment will never be favorable. You need to start realizing that. You need to realize that it is you and it is your responsibility to create that favorable environment. Otherwise, you won't be able to enjoy the fruits of achieving your dreams. It will be sad for you to realize that you have wasted so much time, because a lot of people regret when they are in their 50s, when they are in their 60s. They regret because they would have wasted so much time. You need also to realize that there is a phase where you are very energetic and where you are actually very much effective in your life. There is a time where you will be submerged with a lot of responsibilities. So if you're that kind of person who procrastinates, imagine when you're submerged with a lot of responsibilities, will you be able to achieve the things that you have written down to say, I am going to achieve this? If you have set goals, for instance, each and every time, December of each and every year, a lot of people sit down to set goals for the next year, the goals that they wish to achieve. But you find that when they get to the December of that next year, they wouldn't have achieved. Why? Because most people procrastinate and most people find places where they can shift their blame to say, I didn't do this because my mother got sick. I didn't do this because of the environment, the economy is so terrible. I didn't do this because of one or two things that you always find fault to blame. Yes, I'm not saying that the environment might be tough, but it is your decision to make to ensure that whatever you want to achieve, you achieve it and you're not limited to anything. I love the speaker that says, life favors those that are risk takers. It favors people that are so eager to look into opportunities. And also there is another speaker who said that an environment that is filled with so many problems is actually a good and fertile environment for you to be able to grab the opportunities that are there. So you just need to be a person with the right mindset, because you realize that I was told a story by my mentor that, there is one person who visited a certain country and he had a business for shoes. And when he reached that country, he noticed that not any person was wearing a shoe. So he couldn't go on with his business because he thought these people don't care about wearing shoes. So Why should I launch my business there? Whereas there is another person also in the same shoe industry, visited the same place and saw people without shoes and realized the market is so huge, it's so flooded, and grabbed the opportunity. So you need to be a person who sees correctly, a person who sees situations in a correct way and in a way that will eventually benefit you, which is something that a lot of people are not able to do. They cannot be able to realize opportunities whenever they are presented to them. So I'm telling you, I have refused to go into the grave without emptying my life. So without adding value to those people who are around me, to me, I'm just irrelevant. I am a nobody. I can only realize my value and I can only realize who I am when I am actually adding value to other people. So I've made this a life commitment to say, even if my environment is not favorable enough, that will not stop me from doing what I want to do. Because I do not have to wait for me to be successful so that I can be able to start imparting the lives of people. I can start imparting them right now where I am currently. So it is important for us to realize that, when you realize the task that you were given, you need to start running with that task. If you know that I have a function, I have a skill, I have a gift that I can offer to the people that are around me, don't wait for the right conditions. I am a Christian and I love the story of Joseph. Joseph didn't wait for him to get out of the prison for him to interpret people's dreams, but he would add value to people even when he was in the worst situations that you can ever think or imagine. So that created him an opportunity for him to become the governor, because the person that he spoke to, that he added value to whilst he was in the prison, is this very same person who remembered him when an opportunity came for him to be able to occupy a greater position. The same with Christ. He didn't wait for him to be anointed for ministry. He was developing himself even as a child. When he was 12 years, he was asking questions to the teachers of law, because he knew that he had a destiny, he had a mandate that he carried. So it is this very same thing with you. You do not have to wait for opportunities. You've got to create the opportunities, and opportunities can only be realized and can only be created. Doors can only be opened if you are pursuing your dream. People realize you when they see you doing something. If you're just sitting and you're thinking, there will come a time when someone will just say, you know what, I realize you've got this dream, so come and help me in this area. They cannot realize you if you're doing nothing. They can only realize you if you are doing something. So I'm here to encourage someone that it is time for you to rise up, because you do not have time. Trust me, you do not have time. You might think you do, but you don't have it. So I want you to understand that it is time for you to start doing that thing that you want to do. It is time for you to start pursuing your idea. It is time for you to start living your dream. I spoke last time when I recorded a video that I said that you do not have to wait for people that are standing in the valley to tell you what to do. If you are actually standing on a mountain, if you have seen a vision that needs to be achieved, it is your responsibility to start running with that vision. You do not have to wait for other people to tell you that, you know what, you can't do this because it has never been achieved before. Great people achieved things that were never achieved before. This is the reason why they became great. So when people discourage you to say that it has not been achieved, it's because they are limited. They are not seeing what you're saying. So you do not have to listen to their opinions. Rather, you should look for people that support you, people that will stand with you, and people that know that you can achieve against all odds, and those that can push you to realize your full potential. So it is important for you to be someone who knows your time, because when you do not realize that you don't have time, you will always have this illusion of thinking that you have it. We always say the statement that time is money, but we do not understand the meaning of that statement, because it's a precious tool that we should always regard. You find that some people fail to achieve because they give that as an excuse to say we do not have time, yet they do have it. They need to create it, because I've realized that in as much as you might say I go to work so I don't have time to pursue my dreams, if you calculate the hours that you spend in a day working, maybe they're just 6, 7 or 8, but in a day you've got 24 hours. So you realize that you have 8 hours to work, and maybe you have 8 hours to sleep. But then what happens to the remaining time? How do you utilize it? Maybe you're spending much of it on social media. Maybe you're spending much of it pursuing things that have no benefit to you. So you need to start it's important for you to write your schedule. It's important that before you start a day, you have your day planned, so that you do not waste any of the precious time that you have, because time lost can never be gained. We always say these statements, but we do not realize the importance of them. For great people to achieve great things, they go an extra mile. Some people even sacrifice a part of their time where they're supposed to be sleeping. So instead of sleeping 8 hours, you might find that some sleep 6 hours, just so that they can spare the 2 hours they maximize those 2 hours to achieve the things that they want to achieve. If you want to write a book, let me tell you something. You do not have time to waste, because it's hard work. For instance, you have to read other material. You have to immerse yourself with the writings of other people, so that you can also add something that is meaningful in your writings. You have to research. So if you're that person who always cries to say, I don't have time to do this because I am working at this company, and it's time for you to start organizing your time properly. It's important. Yes, I understand that you need some time to refresh, but 1 hour is enough for you to refresh yourself. So I hope this has been beneficial to you, and I hope you'll be able to understand the importance of this precious, I can call it a mineral, it's because it's more precious than rubies.